Before I get on to this next step, something just occurred to me that I could add to the previous one about prepping. And that is that sometimes the challenge is thinking, I don't know, cook. I'm fed up with the same old meals. And that can actually lead to being less mindful. So, what about carving out some nice time deliberately with a cup of tea and some recipe books and a post-it note and actually get some new ideas or get some inspiration for your planning. So there we go. Anyway, enough of that. That's the previous step. This is now, and now is about eating out. And the idea that actually sometimes it's lovely, but sometimes the anticipation or the fact of it, not quite knowing how it's going to be, can be quite scary, can be quite alarming, can be quite worrying because we don't know what's going to happen. In other words, that uncertainty can be difficult. Or maybe by now, because you've worked really hard on allowing yourself to eat all foods and your mindful eating practice rather, is going really well, you may be thinking, actually, it's not that hard, which is fantastic. If you're there, great. But you might not be. So if eating out still creates some anxiety and practical challenges, then in this next step, I've outlined a few things that you can do. I'll just give you a quick run through and then you can read them. Know what's on the menu before you get there. Visualize the food. What's she talking about? Visualize the food and keep it simple. And that has something to do with rainbow and color. Being mindful of the liquid, in other words, the alcohol, and how that can impact. Think about the time that you're eating. Sometimes it also has an impact on how much you eat because of fatigue, etc. Look at how certain foods are being prepared, particularly salads and vegetables, and you might want to be assertive about that. For example, having the dressing on the side. The idea of being completely free about what you're going to choose. Oh, and I should really talk about flipping calories on menus here, shouldn't I? Well, it won't come as any surprise to you that I don't think it's a very good idea. And I would say, okay, use it as a guidance if you want to, but don't let that put you off what you really fancy, because you might not eat the whole portion anyway. And the other thing is that there's a lot of research out there to say that calories affect people differently. So actually, largely, those numbers on menus are pretty useless. I'm pretty irrelevant. I'm quite inaccurate. So to my mind, don't even go there. The point about the fact that the chef, in terms of portion size, does not know about your appetite, doesn't know what your appetite is like. About dessert, and also what to focus on. And I'm going to tell you what that is because it's one line. Choose the food most satisfying for you at the time, but if it's not great, just don't finish it. There you go. So I hope that's helpful. Read on, read on. It's quite long, but it's broken up into sections. And I hope that next time you go out, those points that I've included will be helpful.